Welcome to another Leaving Fundamentalism vlog. Today I'm going to talk to you about the all-out war on reason within accelerated Christian education. If you just tuned in, accelerated Christian education is a fundamentalist school curriculum used in a claimed 7,000 schools worldwide, including more than 50 in the UK. This is what they have to say about reason. Here we go to talk about the great philosopher Aristotle. Aristotle arrives at his conclusions by reasoning through his observations. If he had performed some basic, simple experiments, he would have discovered that his reasoning was in error. Man should never trust his own reasoning. His reasoning may be incorrect because man's reasoning is not God's reasoning. All the elements and processes in nature were designed by God and operate according to laws that he has devised. Rather than basing his beliefs on his own reasoning, Aristotle should have compared his reasoning with God's reasoning, as found both in Scripture and in his creation. Man should never trust his own reasoning. His reasoning may be incorrect because man's reasoning is not God's reasoning. Now, the logic here is just a catalogue of errors. Bloke who is famous millennia later for being good at reasoning, made some mistakes in reasoning, therefore reasoning is unreliable, therefore we shouldn't use reason, we should rely on special revelation. Here they go again. Not all the developments and discoveries of the Renaissance were worthwhile. Scholars began to place importance upon the development of man. They taught that man should rely primarily on his reasoning ability to find the answers to life's questions. Because man began to rely on reason rather than on scripture, moral values were weakened. As men began to study Greek and Roman knowledge, which contained no biblical wisdom, they began to believe this new knowledge was greater than God's commandments, and they adopted the lifestyles and attitudes of the pagan Greeks and Romans. So if you use reason, you will be wrong, and you will be immoral. The underlying philosophy of accelerated Christian education is that wisdom is the principal goal of education. And they say that wisdom can only be reached through scripture and knowing God. They claim that there are three types of learning: knowledge, understanding and wisdom. Knowledge and understanding are what people from ACE's part of the world will probably call book learning. Now, book learning is much less good than wisdom. Wisdom is what you get from knowing God. Knowledge and understanding are the poor relations of wisdom. This is a wisdom pack. Wisdom packs are compulsory pullouts in the English packets of accelerated Christian education. Here, Sandy, one of the PACE characters, is saying, people who do not study the ways of God cannot walk in them, thus they have no wisdom. All they can do is rationalise or think their way through life. See, rationalising and thinking are the poor relations of just knowing what God says. It's an ongoing theme in the wisdom packs. Are those poor unsaved people that don't know God, they have to think their way through life. Poor them. We don't have to think our way through life because we have the truth revealed to us through God. Essentially they're saying, yes, we believe some things which may seem irrational to you, but we know they're true because God has told us if you rely on reason, you will come to the wrong conclusions. This is madness. This is madness. Rational thought is the only means that we have for discovering the truth. If you undermine rational thought, then what are we left with? Special revelation. And what do you do then when two people claim to have received special revelation from God and it's in conflict? You rely on reason. If you undermine reason, there is no way that we can ever know anything ever again. And this is an education system. The primary goal of education, more than learning information, surely has to be to learn how to think. And this is accelerated Christian education specifically undermining the system that we have for thought. It's disgraceful. And this is what UK NARIC has evaluated, and they've said that the qualification based on this curriculum is equivalent to A-levels. I'm not happy.